Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another upload. My name is Essence, and if this is your first video, welcome. I hope you guys enjoy today's video. We are going to be playing with some new products, not a full face, but we do have a couple of goodies. We have some hits and we also have some misses. If you guys like content like this, make sure you go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Also, if you are not subscribed, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's completely free, and also the bell notification so you can be notified every single time that I upload. I am really excited to be sharing today's video with you guys. Some products you will recognize, others maybe not. But let's just jump into it. But before we do, make sure you grab your makeup brushes or a snack, whichever is your preference, and let's get started. So today I'm going to start with my eyeshadow, and I'm going to start by prepping my lids, of course, but I'm actually going to be using these e.l.f. tapes. If you guys remember, I used to use these all the time, but I figured I'd use them today just so I can get a more crisp line with my shadow. So I'm just going to place these on both sides of my eyes. These are so affordable, and you can get them at Target. I don't know if you can get them at Ulta. I personally have never seen them there, but they may be there. But definitely pick these up if you want like a crisp, clean line. I actually used to use these to do my wing liner. And then I'm gonna go in with my NARS Soft Matte Concealer. You guys know I love this to prime my lids. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do what I always do and just pop this on my lids. I've honestly been using this for a long time. I was watching older videos, which made me cringe, by the way, but I've been using this for a long time, you guys. This is definitely my go-to. To set everything after I've blended that in, I'm now going to take my translucent powder from Rimmel. This has become also a staple for me when it comes to priming my lids. I always use this powder 99.9% of the time. I really like it for this step. It really sets down the concealer so that it doesn't budge or smudge or move after a while I'm applying my eyeshadow. So just a nice layer of this on top. Alright, so now that the lids have been primed and set, we can move on to shadow. So this is today's palette. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but I did get this palette in BoxyCharm, and when you open it up, this is what we have. So we have a whole bunch of neutral toned shadows as well as a couple of shimmers, some of color down here. I don't know if I'm gonna play too much with the color today, but let's go ahead and grab these two shadows, and they do have shade names. So those are Poise and Muse, and I will try to link everything that I'm using in the description box as always. So I'm gonna grab both of those shades and I'm gonna start buffing those right on the outer corner and into the crease. So this is our transition shade, but also given the fact that this palette doesn't have too many shade options, it's also going to be one of our main colors that we're using. So I'm just going to buff this out, and I'm going to follow along the tape, which is why I placed it there to help kind of wing out the shadow. So now that I have blended those two shadows together, I'm just going to take the darker one, which is this one right here by itself, and I'm actually going to use another brush for this. The brush I was using to begin with was the M513. Now I'm switching over to this e.l.f. Crease Brush with just that shadow, and I'm going to focus this on the outer corner and just really try to build this outer corner up and deepen up the shadow in this area. There is another shade I want to go in with, but I want to start with this first just to really pack on some more color. I now want to take the dark brown shade in the palette, which is the darkest shade that this palette provides, and I'm going to start, I think, with maybe a more tapered brush in a way. So this is the M433, and it's kind of fluffy, but it's pinched together, so it makes it a little less fluffy, if that makes sense. And I'm going to take that shadow, I'm gonna start with a light hand first and start placing that on the outer corner, but the lower outer corner. I don't wanna bring it into the crease too much. I'm gonna just start blending the shadow. I've actually decided to take this brown shadow and actually wing it out as well, just to deepen up the entire outer corner. So I'm just trying to make this as deep and dark as I can by continuing to just add product, blend it, add more product, and blend it. So for the inner part of the lid, I'm gonna use Fearless, which is this like gold looking shimmer in the palette. So this one right here. And I'm gonna place that on the front half of the lid. And I'm not gonna carve it out or anything. I'm just gonna place this down, but I'm gonna try to be, you know, as precise as possible, but not too precise. So that's the shimmer without spraying it, but I am going to use a little bit of setting spray just to see if it'll change the consistency of the shimmer. 9 times out of 10, you do gotta spray your brush. Sometimes I don't care to do that, but this isn't wowing me. I have to say, I've definitely used better shimmer shadows, but the mattes are gorgeous, I will say that. I think that is good for now, so let's go ahead and remove the eye tapes. See what we have. See how it just creates that crisp, clean line? You could definitely do wing liner with this. I think it would be really pretty, but I'm just gonna skip out on wing liner today, but wing liner will go really, really good with this look. All right, so now that we have those removed, I can apply some mascara, and I'm also gonna apply some new lashes. These are the Ardelle Double Up Wispies. I've never used them personally. So they're not new as in, you know, new on the market, but new to me because I've never used them before. So we're gonna pop these on and then we can come back and finish out the base makeup. So stay tuned because I have some more great products to use. Okay, so the lashes are on now. And Ardelle lashes have been around for a long time, but I don't know why I never tried the double up because these are actually pretty cute. You know, the only thing I have to say is that when I was putting them on, considering the band isn't so sturdy, it's like one of those invisible bands, if you will. I'm not really into that anymore. But now let's move into priming the skin and prepping it for foundation. So I have here the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Oil. I've never used this, so I thought I'd pick it up and give it a try. I'm not going to use too much of this though. This is something I would probably use mostly when I use a stick foundation, but let's do 2 drops and then 1 up here, 1 here. Kind of like how I do my oils and stuff when I'm doing my skincare, and just rub that in. So for a little bit of color correcting, I'm gonna use the Jekka Black Liquid Corrector in 2.0. So it's so cute because it looks like those little mini like lip chaps, lip balms, but really it's just a color corrector. Hopefully the shade or color that I have works for me. And see, it's just like this tube that you would use for like lip gloss, but it's not for your lips, it's for your face. So I am gonna put a little bit here on this spot. Ooh, that's very pink. I'm just gonna use a little bit of it, not on very many parts of my face, just right in these areas. That seems about enough for me. I don't want to go overboard because I don't know how this is gonna work. So I'm gonna take my Real Techniques brush. This is the Deluxe Crease Brush, and I'm gonna use this just to tap the product. Not really what I thought it would do. Maybe I'm using it incorrectly, but it's not really covering anything, honestly. It's not doing anything for me. So I'm gonna take a little bit of the NARS Soft Matte Concealer, and I'm gonna place a little bit right on this mark right here, just because I do need a little bit of coverage right there. As you guys can see, it's very red, so I wanna cover it up before I put on foundation. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this on that mark. Now for foundation, I'm just gonna go ahead and use my ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Foundation. And I'm actually gonna use a beauty blender just to blend this in today. If you guys have seen any of my other videos, you guys know that I like to use a brush normally with this foundation. But today we're just gonna use the good old beauty sponge. And truth be told, the reason I'm using a sponge today is because this is my only clean sponge and all my brushes are dirty, so sponge it is. I don't know if I ever gave my opinion of using a sponge with this product, but I like the beauty blender with it. It looks really nice, and I feel like the primer oil made it a little more glowy than normal, which I also like as well. So for like an extra dewy finish, definitely use primer oil underneath the foundation. So now for concealer, I picked up the Beauty Blender Bounce Airbrush Liquid Whip Concealer. This one is in Tan Sand. So hopefully I picked a good shade that isn't too dark but isn't too light. This is what it looks like. I've been wanting to use this for a while. Honestly, I kind of forgot I had this in my drawer. So we're gonna test it out today. And ooh, look at the tip on this. It's kind of cute. It reminds me of the Beauty Blender in a way, like the way the tip, the doe foot applicator is shaped. So that's cute. So let's go ahead and apply this. Very, very thick formula. I can tell just by swiping it on my face. Very cooling though. I can feels very cool when I put it on, almost like I'm applying something cold. Oh, I also want to put a little bit extra right here and right here. I'm gonna use my contour stick from Wet n Wild. I have not used this in God knows how long. I just have been so obsessed with other products. But we're back to this. Hopefully I'm not doing too much. And I'm gonna blend this out first, and then I'll blend in the concealer. And now it's time to blend our concealer in. Hopefully it's not too bad. So now that the entire face has been set with a little bit of loose powder and pressed powder, I am now going to jump into the lower lash line shadow, and all I'm doing is taking the shadows from the top and bringing them down to the bottom. You guys know I do not like a bare bottom lash line. It's very rare that I don't put any shadow at the bottom, even for something as simple as this. I like to, you know, just add a little bit of color. That way everything looks complete and eyes look whole. Then for liner, I'm just going to use my Holy Grail LA Girl Perfect Precision lip liner in nude. And then of course a little bit of mascara, which will be the L'Oreal Telescopic, since that's what I used at the top. I'm just going to use it at the bottom as well. So now we can move on to bronzing the skin and all of that, giving a little bit of definition and color, because yeah, we look one tone right now. So this is the Pure, their 4-in-1 Skin Perfecting Powders. It's their face palette. It has a translucent powder, a bronzer, a blush, and a highlighter. Now the bronzer in this palette looks a little deep, so I don't know if I would use that more for like a contour. So what I'm going to do is use the bronzer shade in here first, just to see how the pigmentation is on the skin. But if I feel like I want to use it more for a contour than bronzer, I will go in with just a bronzer that I have in my collection. It could be a contour shade. It's not too dark. I honestly thought it was going to be a lot darker than this, but it's not too bad. So as I said before, this palette is a face palette, so it has more than just the bronzer. So I am going to take the blush shade in here, which I don't know how I feel about it, but we will see. I'm going to take a little bit at a time. It's kind of like a orange in a way, a deeper orange, but cute, very pigmented. I think I like it though. That's pretty. All right, now for highlight, just to be fair, first and foremost, there is a highlighter in the face palette, as you guys know. But since we use this palette for blush and bronzer, I mean, I would like to use that highlighter, but it does seem a little dark. So I'm gonna go into this Beauty Creations Cali Glow palette. And there's 3 different highlighters in here, but I'm gonna take Manhattan Beach, which is this gold highlight right here, and I'm just gonna apply that. To set everything down, I'm actually going to use a glowy setting mist. This one is the Fenty Baby What It Do. And I love this one. It's just like air. Alright guys, so the face is set. Honestly, I don't know why I don't use this more often. I just really love it. I like the way it just sets the makeup down, but also gives you a nice glow without being over glowy. And, you know, it just made everything come together. I am going to take these clips out of my hair before we move on to the lips. Just kind of let it flow. So for the lip product, I know you guys are probably tired of me using a gloss, but I needed to get my hands on this gloss. This is the Maybelline gloss. It has hyaluronic acid, which I love, we love. So I'm going to use this one. This is in Ice, which is 002. And I'm just gonna apply a light layer of this. When I saw this specific color, it reminded me of the Fenty Beauty Holiday Gloss. So that's honestly why I got it. But, ooh, that's pretty. Also smells really good. All right, beauties, so this here is the finished and final look. I love the way everything came together. I was a little concerned, low-key, but everything came out so beautifully. I don't know why I don't pick up this setting spray more often, because girl, it was given life. After I sprayed that, that's when everything truly came together. Also, let's first talk about the eyeshadow palette. The palette itself, will I recommend for you guys to go out and get that? Not really. There are tons and tons of neutral toned eyeshadow palettes out on the market which are more affordable than that palette, but I will say I do like the transition shades, the matte shades in it. Since I have the palette already, I will continue to use those. The shimmer shades, on the other hand, didn't really blow me away. They were very mediocre, to put it simply. I just feel like there are better shimmer shades that cost less money that work better, but overall I did like the way the eyeshadow came out. Then when it comes to the primer oil, you guys, I love this stuff. It's more of like a dry oil, so it doesn't feel too oily on the skin, seeps in very, very nicely, but it also made the foundation look so radiant, but radiant in a good way. So I would definitely continue to use that, especially with my stick foundations. I think it will go perfectly with that, just help everything just glide on nicer. But overall, like the finish of the foundation on top of that primer. Then when it comes to the Pure 4-in-1 palette, their face palette, I honestly thought the bronzer shadow was going to be, or shade, was going to be a little too deep and dark, but honestly it reminds me of the ABH bronzer, which I like to use to create extra definition. So that is definitely something I would use this shadow for. The blush is very pretty. It goes well with this eyeshadow look. Now, although I am so into like the orange blush, I feel like this blush didn't seem too orange in the pan, but again, looks very beautiful and natural on the skin, or as natural can get with makeup. And then for the highlighter palette, this is again the Beauty Creations Cali Glow palette. I liked the shade over here that I did use. It is very, very, how would you say, pigmented, but not too pigmented at the same time. It has like a happy medium. It looks very, very natural on the skin, so when the light hits it in a certain direction, you know, it looks really nice and glowy. So I do love that palette. Definitely the type of highlighter I'm into right about now if I'm gonna wear highlight. And then we have the lashes that I have on. Again, these are the Ardelle Double Up Wispies. I do like them, but I just feel like I've kind of grown out of this type of lash as far as like the invisible band. I like something a little bit more sturdier. I just feel like these aren't too sturdy on my lids, but I don't know. I will just continue to pull them out, use them, see how I feel about them. I don't hate them. Definitely recommend them to anyone who's looking for an affordable lash because they're very affordable. Super cute, a little bit more volume than the traditional Wispies, so there's that. And then 2 more products, which is the Beauty Blender Bounce Concealer. This I feel like I have to play with a little more. I'm not too sure about the texture and the way that it blended out. Like I said, I waited too long to blend out my concealer, so next time I won't, but I'm gonna have to continue to use this to give you an like more accurate opinion on how I feel about it, because first impressions, I'm not blown away, but again, it's not something that I'll just stick in my drawer and never use again. I definitely want to continue to use it. And then the lip gloss. Oh my goodness, you guys. First of all, I have an idea in my head what I want to do with these glosses. I want to pick up a couple more shades, but this is where it's at. Very comparable to the Fenty Beauty gloss bombs for sure. And considering I did not buy her holiday collection, I'm kind of glad I got this shade. Again, this is 002, which is Ice. I think it's so pretty. It's like a baby pink, but you don't really see the pink, I guess. It's more of like a clear. I don't know. It's so cute. I'm head over heels for this gloss. You guys know I'm a gloss junkie, and I love that. Very comfortable on the lips. Honestly, this is a little bit more comfortable than the Fenty Beauty gloss bombs. Those can be a little bit more stickier. This one, not so much, as you guys can see. I don't know if I would even prefer this over the Essence Shine 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 lip gloss, which I love, but definitely very comparable to that as well. So yes, that's a go for the gloss. Go and get all the shades you can get your hands on. And then finally, the liquid corrector. I don't feel like this did anything for my skin whatsoever. Didn't cover up a thing, just added a little bit of pink tint to my skin, and that was it. That's how I feel about it. So definitely would not use that corrector again. Alright, so I think I covered everything that I used that was pretty much new in today's video. Again, all the products can be found in the description box down below. The products that I can find links for will have links. Otherwise, just the name and shade, if there is one to go with it, will be down in the description box. So don't forget to check that out for all the info down below. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up before you go. And with all of that, I am going to close out today's video here. I love you guys. I hope you're staying safe, and I will catch you all in my next upload.